Why is this always a hassle?
Here,
Right?
me.
Let's do this. Oh, wow. Well, welcome back. Do some news headlines on this thing. You know, the dumpster fire of the world is just unreal, right? You know, right, with food scrap and farmer stuff and stock market and Fox found innocent, you know, whatever. Like, you know, there's just so much going on. You know, prices, rationing, you know, right? Fuel's up and down, whatever. Anyway, so what are we going to do today? Are you kidding me? Oh, the last video I did on mayonnaise, you see that? I had some bread cooking. So I want to show you, you know, how that turned out. Also going to revisit the meat that was cooked in the air fryer. So let's get to it. So some Americans are looked upon when they go over to the, you know, this 50% off shelf or whatever. It's really, you know, a day-old bread. Now, why is it 99 cents? I can make a loaf of bread for $1. Well, they're selling you for what it is. You know, which is cheaper, buying or making it. Now, some breads is more economical to, you know, buy them at the store. If you don't eat a lot of bread or treat, you know, homemade bread correctly, you're going to get just a chunk of, you know, crouton. Right? you gotta work with this stuff like clay. Now, me being a minimalist or a techno prepper or whatever, right, I like to get down to the bare bones, do the thing. So we know it costs $1 to make a loaf of bread. You know, basically, depends on if you add other stuff, nuts or whatever, right? And what do I mean by taking care of it, take it for a walk? I know, really. Okay, with day-old bread, remember this, day-old bread, it has a day in the life of the world unless you take care of it. Yeah. We'll try to blow something up or burn it or whatever, but say your safety announcement to yourself, and let's go to the lab and find out what we can do with some bread or whatever. Right? Here on the lab bench, we have a kicked up picante beast chef salad kind of thing for, you know, kind of the lunch of the deal, right? Very tasty, you know, nice. Now let's go on with the show. Now speaking of creations, right? This was cooking yesterday when I made the mayonnaise video. Now my bread machine, I love calling it a bread oven. Messes people up like, what? Yeah, okay. My bread machine makes a tall loaf. Some bread machines make a long loaf. So you'll see there's a slice down the center of this. It's too big to fit in the toaster unless I want to get really creative. And again, a reminder, depending on whether it's all-purpose flour, right, or bread flour or cake flour, whatever, you're going to get different stuff. That's why this loaf looks kind of pale. You know, it's really not like a dark crust because I didn't hit the dark button on the thing. I kept it at like a medium. And this is the color a medium comes out on in generic crappy Dollar Tree, you know, flour. Now when you're really good and, you know, mix the ingredients and everything and not blowing the place up, you can come up with some decent bread. My whole thing is I know what kind of flours looks like on the outside when it gets done baking. So my goal is the inside. Now here's a side look. Could have been a little darker, but you know, it's the crust is a nice crust. It's very crusty on the outside. But this is split in half, so it fits perfectly into my toaster on the next phase. All right, putting on the mad scientist hat for a minute. Right, bread is nothing more than a loaf of beer, right? Because beer has the same fermentation with yeast and sugars and stuff. So, you know, it's very, very cool. So like, you know, beer or wine or whatever, it's when do you want the yeast to stop bubbling, you know? And that's why some breads have the big bubbles and some have very small ones, right? And that's called the crumb. Now the word crumb, Yeah, we're gonna cook something. Relax. But the crumb is, how many bubbles? How's this look? My goal on the machine or whatever was a sandwich bread. All right, sandwich bread. Didn't want to try French or anything. French is my favorite, but wanted to do a sandwich bread. So let's see how we did. Now we'll take a look at the crumb in just a second. But the trick to this is you do the bread and you set it on the cooling rack, okay? Then you put it in a big Ziploc bag and you put it in the fridge. Tomorrow, the next day, you take it out. I slice it in half, get it the right size, and then do my Ginzo trick on it, right? And I get 6 slices plus both of these 2 ends. I never know what to do with these 2 ends, But there you go. Now there's some good videos out there on tapping the bread before you cut it to, it's like a watermelon test or whatever. But if I would have made this any thinner, right? This is it's firm but fluffy in a way, right? Now look at the crumb on this, right? Not too shabby. It's got that old-fashioned, Wonder Bread look to it. It's really okay, but what I'm going to use it for is next. Now, here we are in the shed. Now, I did swing by the pantry, right? I grabbed some stuff and put it in my pocket. But here in the shed, that's right. We're going to go old school. What? No. I'm a techno prepper. Let's do a little better than that. That's right, a toaster. These, I can't say all, 99% of these equipment I show you are the ones I have, Now, the other thing I do is after I slice it all back, it goes right back in the bag after I slice it and into the fridge. Because if not, it becomes tomorrow's day-old bread, and then you end up with a giant crouton, and that's where breadcrumbs you can use or whatever. But, I like to get a little bit of time out of my bread. And that was the concern I had with Texas, the doctor. Swung by for a visit. Oh, give us a loaf of your bread. That was a whole fiasco. So I gave him a loaf. I'm sure they didn't treat it like fine wine. And the next day or whatever, it was a crouton. So I don't know. I have to ask them. All right. After a little toastage. All right. I picked the one with a hole in it. It was kind of lonely. What do you throw on it? Jelly? I don't know. Mayonnaise? No, I did mayonnaise the other day. Some chunky peanut butter and honey, right? Why not? People talk about useful skills. The skill of being able to bake bread is amazing. Now, I use the bread machine and whatever technology, but give me a thing. I can make some. I'll make some bread or whatever, And here's my honey and peanut butter snack. Got the hole in there. Right? This toast here, this is so crumbly and fluffy. I can't wait to try like a tea and toast, with the donkey thing. Gotta try that out. But there you go. What's next on the plate? With fall coming here in the bunker, there'll be a lot of soups and stews and things. But I figured I'll play with this a little bit. And do some baking. So we're going to do some banana nuts in those little containers, blueberry in the little paper tins, and we'll do some chocolate chip cookies. Stock the old fridge up with some yummies. I'd like to thank my viewers and whatnot for going through this confusion with me. Right? What's going on? Well, if you recall, a few days ago, I had half a bag of these pecans. I think they're pecans. I don't know if they're pecans, walnuts, whatever. That were abused in the freezer, so I threw them in the freezer to keep them where they are, and now I have to, take care of those with the dehydrator to kind of, revive them. So I was kind of, seeing what else I could dehydrate or come across before I do that, and use up some of the tray space. Might do one of those leathers, they call them, right? It's a dehydrated fruit leather roll-up thing. Maybe, don't know. We'll see. Like every time, let's wrap this up. How'd I do? I think I did okay. I mean, I made the bread yesterday, peanut butter, right? A little bit of honey, toast. I looked up on my solar what the toaster thing was. It's like minimal. But yeah, hey, you know, I made some. But now I have bread for the next couple of meals. Maybe do since I did the mayonnaise deal. Do like a open face chicken sandwich or an open face, you know, ham. I don't know. We'll see. Hey, thanks for popping in. Like, subscribe, you know all that. You know what to do. Later.